Hello YouTube, how is everybody today? I'm doing pretty good, and if you're watching this video, I probably know why you're here, but you're going to have to wait till the end. So, today's Friday, which is the day I do my finished objects, and I have 4 for you guys today. Start off with the first one. Let me grab my notes here so I don't forget. I participate in a few different make-along groups, as you guys well know, and I like to, if I can, one item, more entries kind of thing. So this one is for the Crochet Witch, because she has a make-along in her channel called The Great Cake Off. And this is also going to be entered into Nayan's Crochet Ideas. And that is where each month they put two different types of stitches together to see which one, gets the more makes for it, and that stitch kind of wins. So I unfortunately did not write down the stitch, and I should have, because I can't remember now what it was. But I was at my camp. Well, I started the project here at home first, and I didn't quite know what I was going to make with it. I thought just a regular little cowl type idea. And as I was at the camper because we went up on the Thursday of last week, Thursday and Friday were pretty darn nippy, cool out kind of weather. And I've got this fleece pullover sweater that's my camper sweater that has just a little zipper like here in the upper chest area and into the collar. But sometimes I find the collars too restricting. I don't like having it up all the way, and then I feel the zipper kind of like on my lower chin and stuff. So I thought, okay, what can I make with said item I was working on? And I decided to make one of these type of cowls. I'm going to put it on, so bear with me. Glasses are coming off. And it just, again, it's double layered here where I sewed it together. But I thought, this is actually quite warm, the material. And it's cozy. And I thought if I've got my sweater on over top, it would keep me kind of warm without having to have the zipper all the way up and the collar done up. So I made this little cowl. It's going to go to my camper when we go up in a couple weeks and keep it up there with, availability so that when I've got my sweater on those cooler evenings, I have something to keep my neck warm. So there's that. Then the next thing I made, which was not originally planned, and that was for over at Erin at Crafting Kitty, her Creator Spotlight. She took a break for a few months over the summer. I honestly think it was, the overwhelming fact that her baby was going to school this year. So, all her children were going to be at school, and, she tried to do a lot with the kids over the summer, which I understand most parents want to do that, spend as much time with your kids as you can. And so she kind of suspended the spotlight for a few months. And then, but we still knew who the spotlight was, so we could get a head start on projects. I thought I'd made 3 projects. I looked at my photo album on Facebook. I was sure I shared the link to the videos I used to get the idea of what I was going to make. And I could only figure out 2 photos that were for the spotlight. So I got looking at the creator itself on YouTube, and only 2 of her videos that I watched had the red line underneath it. So I thought, okay, I got to whip up a 3rd project. And so I thought I'm going to do something quick, easy, like a 1-day, couple-hour type project. And I decided to do one of these little headbands. So there's the front. And there's the back. Very colorful, lots of fun. Now, I did do mine a little different, which Erin is fine with. It's just she wants to know kind of what got you on your way to making it. And in the pattern itself, it was supposed to be 1 row of slip stitches and then 1 row of double crochet, or half doubles, sorry. Yeah, half doubles. I don't like the slip stitch. That is That and the picot are the two stitches I really don't like. And I thought I'm not doing slip stitches, so I did single crochets. So I made that little headband, which I think is cute. Not for me, and that's why I'm not trying it on to show you how it looks. I'm gonna hopefully be donating it to a shelter or something like that. Or I know a lot of our elementary schools have winter donations. So I'm thinking maybe something like that. I think a young little girl, like young lady, grade 6, 7, 8-year-old would find that kind of, or grade 6, 7, maybe 8 would find that kind of cute. So that's what I'm thinking for that. Then the other day was kind of bored. And I thought, I don't really want to work on my head to toe winter knits hat right now. I don't know. I love it, but I kind of lost the vibe for it at the moment, so it hasn't been touched. And then I got thinking, I want to make something for my son, because right now he's got 5 toques that I've made. Originally, one was actually made for him originally, but he's claimed 5. So it's like one day to the next, you never know which toque he's going to wear. Half the time he's not even sure where he put the toques in his room. So I know Seta over at Seta's Place, she designed one of these. But it's not hers I followed, but it gave me a good idea. So I thought, okay, let's go look in, on my favorite pattern site I go to. And I got looking, I found one, and it called for a bulky, or was it a super bulky yarn. I got called for a bulky, but I had 2 skeins of this ice yarn. Here's the label. And I'm pretty sure it's a super bulky. If the size on here, I can't find it. I'm not a fan of ice bands because I find they don't put a whole lot of information on them. But I'd won this yarn a while back, and I had 2 skeins of this gray color. It's a super bulky. It's going to easily be a 6, possibly even a 7, which I don't know if there is a 7 weight yarn and what it's called, but this stuff was thick. And it was loosely spun, like 2 strands spun together, kept snagging, splitting. The stitches look not the greatest. I had to keep ripping them out and redoing them. And then the top part, I just used the normal cream, like just the regular bulky yarn, so it is a little thinner. But what did I make for him? I made him, just trying to get it kind of situated, a little basket. I figured, it's got a really cute pattern. But I figured, you know what, I can, with a little hook, and then, he can hang a hook type thing on his wall somewhere and then hang this and put his hats in it. Now, I can honestly say with this gray yarn, like I said, it's thick. It's very thick, squishy. The pattern was easy. It's like, once you got the diameter of the base, single crochet, double crochet in 1 stitch, then skip a stitch, single crochet, double crochet in the next. Very easy. Then the next round, you single crochet, double crochet in the single, skip the double, and continue on. I was able to do the pattern for the whole gray part, except the very end. And that was, I only could do 2 singles. Literally after the 2 singles, I had like that much yarn left. So yeah, I could have easily ripped it back around, but I thought, nah. And then I thought, I'll just throw a couple singles in there. It doesn't make that much of a difference. Then with the cream color, which I think looks really good with the gray, I tried following the instructions of the pattern I was doing. And I don't know if my count was way off on the basket itself, which I don't think it is. Like, I did all the rounds I had to do for increases and did the proper numbers. But when I did the first round of decreasing up here in the cream color, it totally didn't work out. And I literally ripped it back and I went step by step and made sure I counted. Still, nope, did not work out. So I thought, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. So I thought, we're just going to wing it and go my own way. I did a round of singles. Then I did so many singles along the side. decrease so many, then so many singles around the second side. Then the third one I did less singles, few more decreases, and then less singles. And then the last round was just singles with a chain 5 and a slip stitch. So I just, like I said, like, because of it being a bulky yarn and such, it is quite holy here at the front where the decreases are. But you know what? My son's not going to care. I don't care. He won't care. It is what it is. It was just something for fun. I whipped up. So, if you're still with me, you're here for this project. I can honestly say she is 100% done. Sewed ends. I literally Saturday, the day of my husband my anniversary, sat outside and worked my butt off. Start off with, if you guys saw my last video regarding Sophie, I was at a, what do I do? The very last round, I lost that chicken. Yarn chicken, it sucked. I lost. There was no way I could remotely make it work. I was 100 stitches short. I thought these cakes, when I buy them at my Michael's with the 40% coupon, they come to over $10 Canadian. I thought, it doesn't seem right to buy another whole cake for over $10 for 100 stitches. I thought, I'm not going to do it. I hemmed and hawed about which way I was going to do it. And I know my husband said, well, if you got to buy another cake, you can do those 2 bonus rounds. There are 2 bonus rounds on the flowers. And I thought, yeah, I could do those, if I bought another cake. I was only going to buy another cake if I had, say, 2 rounds or more to go. I didn't, so I wasn't buying another cake. And I thought, okay, so let's rip out the stitches because it was a back post double crochet called for. So I ripped it all the way back to the beginning. I thought, okay, let's do a back post single crochet. Uses less yarn. I will definitely have enough. And I did about 20 stitches or so, and I looked at it, I thought, you kind of lose the stitch because it's such a short stitch. I don't like it. I really don't like it. It's just really hard to see the stitches. It just gets me. It's like, no, can't do it. So I ripped it out again. I think it was only did about 20, 30 stitches. I thought, I'm just going to do a row of single crochets and call it quits. So that's what I did. I had about a golf ball size of yarn left over. What am I going to do with it? I have no idea. I'm going to just show you where my stitch marker is to show you where I was last time. Now, it's not frogged, and I'm going to actually ask you guys that in a moment. But here it is. Where the stitch marker, this blue stitch marker is where she was last time I showed you. But it turned out quite cute. I love this top, well, it looks like a top stitch, the zigzags, and how the colors change and made it look so unique. So she is, like I said, she is done. All my ends are sewn in. It wasn't actually as bad as I thought it would be to sew in the ends on this one. I think it took me about an hour. Now, like I said, I have not frogged it. And you will see that in a picture. And just give me 1 second. I'm going to share that with you guys right now so you guys can see the full picture. Oh, no. Wrong button. Try this again. I want this button. Bear with me, please, people. Okay, you're not going to come up. Okay, give me 1 second. Let's pull you. I had it going right before I went to recording. Okay, there you are. Okay. Let's go here. Share. Here we go. You guys ready? It's not the best picture because it does curl on itself and such, but here you go. So what do you guys think? I think it turned out amazing. I love it. Now, I did measure it. The book, I think, said the pattern with a worsted weight yarn was roughly 5 foot 6 inches, I think. Unfortunately, I got the book put away, so I'm not going to pull it out. With this one laid on the ground, I measured it, and I'm pretty sure the measuring tape said 5'9", which is the same height as me. And then once I got it up off the ground and I held it, I made sure the bottom was touching the ground. I had my husband check, and I held it up, and it only came up to about my nose. So I thought, okay, no, it's about 5'6", or yeah, about 5'6" ish. So even with using a 3-weight yarn and a smaller hook, it still came up to the same dimension as to what it was supposed to come to. So I thought, oh wow, I love it. Like, turned out pretty darn good for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed her. Now, she was definitely a very fun project. Stubborn at times with part of it, and I struggled and stuff, but I got it done. Again, for those who did it in worsted weight yarn and you changed your color every round, please tell me you sewed in your ends as you went, because doing it at the end, oh my goodness, yeah. No, I can't do that. So because I've got a very big project off my plate, and I know it was my filler project, as I like to call it, work on it when you can kind of thing. It was not time sensitive. I kind of been doing a little bit of thinking what I kind of want to do next. And I've got to say, Erin over at Crafting Kitty, she's my influencer. I'm almost certain of it. Like, she's done different things on her channel, and it's like, oh, I like that idea. Like, for example, my head to toe winter knits projects, where I put it up for a vote as to what I'm going to make next, and you guys vote on it. I stole that from Erin over at Crafting Kitty. She has a segment on her channel, Fridays with Fred, and I stole it because I thought it was a neat idea. Well, she's also done something with her channel for the last 3 years, and it's kind of like I knew the word I'm looking for. Now I'm drawing a blank. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. But something she wants to do all year long. So she's trying to learn a new skill or improve on it. The year of, that's what it was. Sorry. She called it the year of. So the first year she did this, she did the year of socks. Now she still makes socks now, but the first year she really focused on knitting socks for her and her family. Beautiful. They're awesome socks. Like, she can do them in her sleep because she's done so many pairs. Second year was year of the amigurumis. And she still makes amigurumi for her kids still to this day. But last year she really, really, really focused on year of the amigurumis. And this year she's doing like a 2-prong type idea where Mondays it's managing her yarn, because she's got a pretty extensive collection. She's only got so much storage in her house, and she's gone beyond that. So she's trying to get rid of yarn, work from her stash, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. And then Tuesdays is her managing her projects, like her WIP Island kind of idea. She's got not just a regular Rubbermaid container. I believe she's got a supersized, like really big one, full of WIPs in her bedroom. And I know she said at one point there was WIPs sitting on top of said bin. Her Sophie's Universe was one of them. Then the one day I know she said she was cleaning up in her craft room and came across other WIPs that she hasn't looked at or touched in months. Well, I don't have that problem because normally I only have 1 or 2 items on the go. I guess you could say at the beginning of each month, because I participate in multiple make-alongs, those are my must-do first items. So I usually whip those out in the first week or 2 of the month. Then the rest of the month, it's kind of like just if I have filler items. So like my head to toe winter knits was a filler item. I work on it when I'm not on, time sensitive type projects. And then Sophie's Universe was another one that I worked on it when, was it working on time sensitive projects, or once I got it back to being a square and I just want to go and get it done. I was so anxious. So going back to her ideas of the year of, I thought that's a neat idea. And now that, like I said, my big project is done, I'd like to maybe in January start kind of like a year of idea for me. And what kind of sealed it a little more was I watched a video of hers actually yesterday where she got a new order of a lot of different Caron cakes. And as you guys know, I made Sophie's Universe with the Caron cakes. I used the Caron Skinny Cakes. Let me unshare this. So yeah, I used, oh, it's showing backwards on my camera. I don't know if it will be in the video. But I used the Skinny Cakes for the value of $10.16, like I said, with the coupon and stuff like that. And the yardage, because it's almost 800 yards. It's like 791 yards, I believe it is. So for $10, it's actually not a bad price for the Caron cakes. Out of all the Caron cakes, this one you get the most yardage. I've looked at them all, and I thought because they're all the same price, I thought I'm still gonna pay the same price for every side, every cake, get the one with the most yardage. So there's that one I looked at, and then there's another Caron cake I was looking at, and I thought, okay, I've been kind of pondering over like the year of idea for myself, and what are a couple things I'd like to do. I thought, okay, year of the dolls, because I've only made 2 dolls in my experience of crocheting, and it was a kit pre-pandemic that a friend had gotten for a Christmas gift, but she wasn't skilled enough to do it. She felt confidence in my ability, so she approached me and asked me if I could make it. They were Elsa and Anna. I made them. I wish I would have actually put the photo of them in my galleries. I could have showed those, but I made them. Now, I don't like the kits due to Anna's. Like, you had the dress that went up to here, and then it was the skin. I was 1 round short for the dress, so the skin, thank goodness the skin color had enough that I could do that extra round of the skin. So I kind of thought, well, I'd like to do the year of the dolls. Because, learning how to do all the different hair techniques and stuff like that. But I was going to, I know this is going to be daring, just do it in the brunette value yarn. So the dolls are going to be bigger, but I was fine with that. But the brunette yarn, multiple colors, easy for me to access. Very easy. I love brunette. That's not sponsored by them, but I do love that yarn, especially just their value yarn. I could buy that stuff all day long. Stuffing, no big deal. I always buy the cheap pillows from Walmart. I cut the end with the tag off. I take the stuffing out. I keep the casing for lining bags. So, 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing with the pillows. And like I said, the dolls would be fun to make. And that was my first idea I was going to do the year of. Then I was kind of thinking I'd like to maybe do the year of tops, like sweaters, tank tops, regular style, like t-shirt style top, like with the cloth, like short sleeves kind of thing. And that's what the other cake was I was looking at from Michael's. And I know it was a Caron cake. At the moment, I can't remember which cake it was. To tell you, I know it if I saw it. So, figure we're only in September. I'm thinking, starting January, I'm going to do the year of the tops. Don't know how many I'm going to make. They'll probably mostly be crocheted, just because I can whip them up quicker. I've actually already found one on Pinterest I really like. It's crocheted. Comes in multiple sizes, and it calls for a 3-weight yarn. I thought, perfect, because I want to start stacking up on the skinny cakes over the next few months. And I don't think I'm going to do this colorway, but unfortunately, skinny cakes, out of all the colorways, there's only 2 I really like. So I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to get. I want to start stacking up on them now. So come January, I have at least the starting of that top. So I think next year I'm going to do the year of the tops. So anyways, guys, thanks for listening. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm going to be actually home this weekend. Gotta kind of save a little bit of money because next weekend we're leaving the city to go to my husband's cousin's reception, who got married back in July and nobody knew about it till more recently. It was all very hush-hush. They kept it very private. So this weekend I will be home. So you never know. I might do a pop-up of some kind. So keep your eyes open. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I appreciate every one of you. And I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.